After a fallow week, the Women's Six Nations is back, and now we have 3 weeks of back-to-back Women's Six Nations to look forward to. Round 2 saw some massive fantasy scores, including yet another epic performance from Ellie Kildunn. And now it's time to take a look at the lineups to see who will be bringing in the points in round 3. Right, kicking off with a very quick look at how my team got on in round 2, and it was a massive week for the Fantasy Rugby Geek team. I ended up with 648 points. Ellie Kildunn captain, always captain Kildunn, 162 points with captaincy. I also had Alyssa Dinker, Meg Jones, Emma Orr, all did very well. Morgane Bourgeois, an absolute bargain, 35 points she got me. Anna McGann, 67 points. She's actually been switched back into her correct position in the back 3, but last week she was in the back row in the fantasy game. Aoife Wafer got me 39 points. Tane Falou got me 57 points. Mane Falou got me 53 points. Serafina Kemba, 51 points. Neve Jones, 28 points. Biggest disappointments, Amy Cockayne as my super sub. I was very tempted by Happy Burton, but I went Cockayne. What an error that was. And Jess Breach with just 3 points. But I can't really complain too much. 648 points is an excellent final score. Okay, let's take a quick look at the FRG League to see who's topping the standings. And it's a big congratulations to T-Dog on 1,264 points. Right behind him is Scott H. Then we've got Dan's Dark Horses, Dowsing for Tries, and Mel. And then quite a few others very close behind. Right, moving into my suggested picks for round 3. A quick caveat, this is done before Scotland and Italy announce their teams, so there may be changes. Make sure you check the round 3 picks this afternoon on fantasyrugbygeek.com. They should go live early Friday afternoon. Okay, let's look at the matches. Round 3 kicks off with the world number 4 team France welcoming Wales to the Stade Amédée Domenech in Brive. In this fixture last year, France came out on top with a comfortable 40-0 victory. And based on form so far in the 2025 Guinness Six Nations, France will be looking for another convincing win. Second up on Saturday is Ireland versus England at the Virgin Media Park in Cork. Last year, England beat Ireland with the biggest margin of victory of last year's tournament, an 88-10 win. England's performance that day included memorable hat-tricks from Abby Down and Ellie Kildunn. Will lightning strike twice? Let's see. And then round 3 wraps up on Sunday with the 7th world-ranked Scotland taking on the 8th world-ranked Italy in Edinburgh. Last year, Scotland came out victorious with a 17-10 win away from home, and they'll be looking to continue their impressive form in round 3. Okay, into the picks, and starting off with props this week. First up, I've got Maud Muir of England. She's always a danger, both in defence and attack. Then we've got Linda Jagang of Ireland. So she scored a try in round 2. She's a dangerous carrier. She's going to get through a big tackling shift against England in round 3. And then finally, Serafina Kemba. So she's out of position in the game as a prop, but actually she's back row. She's great value. She was outstanding in round 2, scoring 51 points in a try scoring performance. Next, we're going to take a look at the hookers. First up, we've got Neve Jones of Ireland. So Jones has been Ireland's top tackler in recent years, and she's no doubt going to be in the thick of the action against England, where her defensive skills are going to be tested to the limit against many of her club mates from Gloucester Hartpury. And then I've got Vittoria Vecchini. She's due a big performance. She's always a big try threat. I have a feeling that this could be the week that she starts racking up those points. Into the second row, 3 options here who have all delivered big points so far. First up, we've got Madusu Fall Raclos of France. She's France's top tackler on 33 tackles made so far, but she's also carried well, carrying for 70 metres and beating 6 defenders. Then I've got Giordana Duca of Italy. She's another player in outstanding form. She's made more tackles than any other player in this year's Women's Six Nations Championship, with 45 tackles in total. The next closest being Zoe Allcroft with 34 tackles. So she's a tackle machine, and I'm expecting her to do more of the same against Scotland. And then finally, we've got Mane Falou. She's been scoring consistently high with an average points per game of 44. A huge threat in the line-out with 2 line-out steals so far. She's also made 2 breakdown steals in 25 tackles, as well as being a very strong carrier. Into the back row, and here we find some massive points options. I'm kicking off this week with Aoife Wafer of Ireland. Despite the opposition, she remains an outstanding fantasy option. In round 2, despite only being on the field for 51 minutes, she still accumulated 39 points. courtesy of 97 metres carried, 5 defenders beaten, 2 offloads, 9 tackles and a breakdown steal. She's averaging 54 points a match so far, so despite playing against the Red Roses, she should still be considered for fantasy selection. Then we've got Alex Matthews of England. This is her first appearance this year. In her last Women's Six Nations appearance, she scored 78 points, which was in round 5 last year. That would have been even higher under the new fantasy scoring. In that match, she got 2 tries, 2 breakdown steals, a line-out steal, 15 tackles, 32 metres carried and 4 defenders beaten, as well as the Player of the Match award. And she's been in outstanding form in the PWR this season. I can see her just coming straight back in and racking up some big points. Tiani Fellou of France. Fellou has averaged 53.5 points per game. She was in hot form in round 2 against Scotland. She scored 57 points in an all-action performance that also included a try. And then finally, Evie Gallagher of Scotland. So she's returning to action after serving her suspension for a red card in round 1. And prior to leaving the field in round 1, Gallagher was in hot form. She carried for 74 metres in that first half. She beat 5 defenders. She made offloads, 4 in total. She made a breakdown steal as well and 8 tackles. So she was, prior to getting that red card, on fire. And she's going to be itching to get back to action this weekend. And she's due a big performance. Quickly running through the scrum halves. So first up, we've got Pauline Bourdon-Sansus. In round 2, she was absolutely magnificent against Scotland. She got 2 assists and as well a brilliant drop goal. She's my top choice this weekend. She's probably the strongest scrum half option in the game. As an alternative, and this needs to be confirmed, so you need to wait for the Italy lineups, but Francesca Granzotto of Italy, she played at fullback in round 2, so she's an out of position option, probably likely to play the whole match, unlike the other scrum halves. In round 2, she carried for 78 metres, and if she plays again at 15, she's great value. Fly halves. So starting with Helen Nelson of Scotland. In round 1, she was the player of the match and she scored 39 points. Nelson's kicking will be key against Italy and she's also a very strong option in round 3. Then I've got Morgane Bourgeois of France. She's out of position, so playing at 15. She even got on the try sheet in round 2. She's also comfortably the top kicker in the game with 27 points gained from conversions and penalties. And she's also very, very cheap, great value. She's probably my top fly half pick this week. Into the centres and kicking off with none other than Meg Jones of England. She scored 38 points in round 2 in a performance that saw her score a wonder try and carry for 104 metres and beat 6 defenders. She's absolute gold. Also, we've got Aoife Dalton of Ireland. Dalton put in a player of the match performance that led to 49 points. She's super cheap, an absolute bargain. And then finally, I've got Emma Orr of Scotland. She's been in my team since the start. She's averaging 31 points per game. She's carried for 110 metres over the course of the tournament, beaten 8 defenders, scored 2 tries, made 2 offloads, and made 13 tackles. She's definitely going to be at the forefront of the Scottish attack this weekend. Now into the big points makers in the back 3. Kicking off, it can only be one person, Ellie Kildunn. Hat-trick in round 2. She scored a hat-trick last year as well in this game against Ireland. In that match as well, she gained 288 metres and made 6 line breaks, the most by any player this decade in a single match. Next up, Abby Dow of England. So she scored 2 tries in round 2, resulting in a 42-point performance. She could well do it again. She got a hat-trick in this match last year as well. So Abby Dow is a very strong option. And then we got Jess Breach. So, she's not shown much form as yet, but it will come. We know what Jess Breach is capable of. She's probably not going to be a big pick after her low score last week. So she could be a great differential option. And then finally, Francesca McGee of Scotland. So she's been Scotland's top performer so far in the 2025 campaign, averaging 34.5 points per game. This is despite having no tries to her name, something that will surely come soon enough. Her carrying has been outstanding. She's carried for 232 metres. She's the only player in the championship to carry for more than 200 metres so far. And she's beaten 20 defenders, which is easily the highest number, with her closest 2 challengers having beaten just 9 defenders in comparison. She's going to be ready to wreak havoc on the Italian defence. Okay, captain picks, and I'm starting off with a very predictable option. It has to be Ellie Kildunn of England. Always captain Kildunn. It was another amazing performance in round 2 from her, a hat-trick and a player of the match. She was dominant against Ireland last year, and you just wouldn't bet against her doing it again. Always captain Kildun. Then we've got Alex Matthews. She's a class act, and she always delivers from a fantasy perspective. She's going to be ready to make a massive impact in her first appearance of this year's Women's Six Nations. Then we've got Abby Dow, a hat-trick against Ireland last year. She got 2 tries in round 2. She's in form, and she's a great differential. And then we got Jess Breach. She's due a big performance, and this could be the one. Super Sub, quick reminder of what I'm looking for. So I look at whether players will come on for a long period of time. I'm looking at how that team has played their subs in the past. So do they tend to bring players on earlier rather than later, maybe in certain positions? And then I'm looking at the split of subs that teams have selected on the bench to see whether it could be an option to go for a back. This week, I am looking at Maddie Fairnati of England. She's the highest scoring player in this year's Women's Six Nations fantasy game. She's probably the safest bet. Then we've got Sarah Byrne of England. She was the top super sub in round 1. Again, she always makes an impact off the bench. A very strong alternative to Fairnati. If you're looking for non-England players and you want 4 England starters, then a couple of good options. Asia Kaufui of France. She was outstanding in 2024. This is her first appearance in this year's Women's Six Nations. And then Cleena Manoni of Ireland. She's one of the most reliable super sub options there is. Okay, now it's time to look at some bargains. Let's look at the value picks. These are all players that could deliver decent scores and are valued at 12 points per less. Last time round, I picked 4 players in the sub 12 stars category that all scored 40 points or more. So there's massive value to be found in these cheaper players. Kicking off with Stacey Flood of Ireland. She's out of position and she's one of Ireland's top carriers. She always gets some good meters in. Then we've got Vittoria Vecchini of Ireland, a real try threat and will accumulate the tackles against Scotland. We've got Rose Bernardi of France. She's likely to get through a lot of work and is a strong option. The France props always tend to score quite well. Caris Phillips of Wales. She's already got a try to her name, so she's a strong option. Then we've got Silvia Turani of Italy in the game as a prop. She's highly versatile and she can slot in as hooker if needed as well. Aoife Dalton, 11.7 stars, 49 points in round 2, as well as a player of the match award. Great option. Erin King of Ireland. She's a great all-rounder for carries, tackles, breakdown steals, and line-out steals. Just a real strong all-round option and great value at 11.6 stars. Kate Williams of Wales. So she's Wales's top fantasy scorer so far. She's averaged 28.5 points per match. She's also put in a high volume of tackles with 27, but she's also carried well, 47 meters, and she also has a try to her name. 11.6 is great value for a player of her ability. Caris Cox of Wales, another out of position option. She's going to be on the wing. She's 11.3 stars. She made some big meters in round 2. She's great value. Morgane Bourgeois of France, 11.1 stars. She's the top kicker in the fantasy game, and she's probably now the best value player in the game. You've got to pick her. Montserrat Amadei of France, into the back 3, 10.2 stars. She's a cheap route into the French backline. And then finishing up with Manon Bijot of France, playing at hooker at 10 stars. She's amazing value and is a genuine try threat. So as always, I hope this was helpful. More details can be found over at fantasyrugbygeek.com with my round 3 picks going up this afternoon. If you want to see my full team reveal, then head over to my membership site at buymeacoffee.com, where you'll also be able to share your team with me for direct feedback on any changes I'd recommend. Make sure you give me a follow on X, Blue Sky, Threads, TikTok, Insta for any breaking fantasy news. And that's it. Make sure you get your teams in for Saturday and good luck.